Welcome to Women Kicking Glass, the only radio show on OC Talk Radio dedicated to empowering women to be the best leaders they can be in any endeavor they choose. Patty Grimm is our host and interviews top women in a variety of fields to help women grow, learn, and lean in together. Patty has over 25 years of experience in primarily male-dominated fields in senior-level management positions. Patty is the owner of Advantage Training Limited, an organizational leadership team training company. She recently released her new book for women called Quiet Women Never Changed History. Be strong, stand out, and stand up. With the subtitle, Let's Go Kick Some Glass.
And let's do it right now. Welcome, Patty Grimm, to Women Kicking Glass.
Thank you, Paul. And this is a great day. We're kicking off the new year with a really exciting show. Not only do we have our one guest, which is Kylie, we also have two girls from the Global Glow program.
You got them packed in here. We were setting up mics everywhere and wedging them into this little studio here.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. So we're really excited about this. As the promo said, my book is out on Amazon, Quiet Women Never Change History. Be strong, stand up, stand out, and let's go kick some glass. And that book is available on Amazon. If you do buy the book, please also write a review. It helps me become a color, which is one of my dreams this year. My really, really special guest is a woman that I met recently through 1OC, a nonprofit organization that helps nonprofits become better and help them serve their causes. And Kylie is unbelievable. When I met her, her belief is that educated, empowered girls will change the world at the heart, and that's at the heart at Global Glow. And what I love is GLOW stands for Girls Leading Our World. I'm so behind this cause. I volunteered to help get her on the radio so we could talk about this amazing group of girls and this amazing group of people. It's a worldwide nonprofit organization, and she's been serving as a founding director since 2011. What Global Glow does, it ignites the power of girls to tell their authentic stories as a force for global transformation. Kylie and I were meeting yesterday, and we were talking about if you educate girls, you educate the world because you educate their children, their families, their friends. Currently, Glow is in 20 countries and serves girls ages 10 to 16 through dynamic near-peer mentoring. That's kind of hard to say.
Say that three times.
Yeah.
What was it?
Near-peer mentoring.
Near-peer mentoring. Okay.
We'll learn more about that. Transformational literacy and creative art-based expression. She's also the founder and CEO of L'Nid, sorry, it's French, sorry. California Bliss, a social corporation with 100% of the profits benefiting Global Glow. It's an innovative frozen treat corporate headquartered in Paris with plans to expand around the world. And the important thing is 100% of the profits goes to Glow, to Global Glow.
Did she bring any of those frozen treats with her this morning?
Not from France.
Oh, okay. All right. Always looking for free food here.
Yeah. Kylie also serves on a number of nonprofit boards in the U.S. and Asia that all focus on gender issues, gender equality, women, and children's education issues, which is one of my real passions, which is people ask me why I wrote the book. I wrote the book to help empower women to be the best they could be in any career they choose and at any age. She's been honored by numerous schools around the area and just amazingly things that she's done. She holds a Ph.D. in clinical psychology, which I didn't know. And is currently co-authoring a book about the secret of positive psychology and implications for working with adolescent girls. So truly, truly an amazing story. And thanks for joining us today, Kylie.
Thank you so much, Patty. We are so excited to be here today with you. It's just really an honor.
Yeah. So tell me first, just tell me a little bit about you and how you got to where you are. And I know you have a gaggle of kids.
I do. I have 7 children, and 2 are still at home. So their ages are 8 to 26. So it's busy. It's busy at home. It's a good busy, though.
Yeah. How did GLOW come about? How did Global Glow, and again, I want to repeat what GLOW stands for because it's really important. It's Girls Leading Our World, which is probably one of the best acronyms I've heard.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, my journey has been one that I like to talk about it first because it sort of sets the tone for how we arrived here. I was living in Asia from 2002 to 2009, and while I was doing that, I had the opportunity to work with some amazing nonprofits that were doing great work in Southeast Asia. And one of those particularly was doing some work in Cambodia. And basically what was happening is they were building schools in the rural areas. So that had my attention, and I traveled to Cambodia quite a bit from Tokyo, where I was living at the time. And so we'd go to Cambodia and build these schools. They're very rudimentary sort of school buildings, and get everything set up, teachers hired, everything ready for the students to come in these rural, very, very, just outside the village kind of areas. And then the day would come for that grand opening, and what was happening was that the boys were coming. And we could see that the girls were in the village and they were looking on, but they were not being enrolled. So that happened for a few times, and we realized at the time, this nonprofit that I was working with, we needed to do something to incent the families to send those girls to school. And that was my big moment of inflection, just a point of change in my life, when I realized that my contribution to the world would be something along the lines of making sure that those girls came inside the gates and into the schools. So for me, it was just a glorious moment when we realized how we could do that. We used a really simple model of incenting the family to have that girl come in, and I have some, in my mind's eye, I have some faces and stories of girls that I know their lives were changed by the fact that we were able to get them to come to school. They came to school every day without fail.
Can I just ask a quick question? I hate to interrupt, but how do you incentivize families to bring their girls, allow their girls to get the same opportunities the guys are here?
Well, exactly. I'll tell you, you're not going to think I'm a rocket scientist here.
I don't think you're rocket science, but I think you're an awesome, amazing woman.
We think you're rocking it here, right?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, basically what we did is we realized that the girls are being kept home to do work at home, so taking care of their siblings or doing work in the fields in rural Cambodia. So we recognized the fact that if we were able to give the family something in return for having her come to school, that would be the ticket. Yeah. And it was, because we paid, honestly, $10 per month to each family, provided that the girl came to school every single day without fail. And magically, they came to school every single day without fail. Yeah. And this program still exists in Cambodia with the nonprofit that I was working with at the time. And we have thousands of girls in this program now, so we know that those girls are in school. Many have gone on from those early days now on to university. So we can see how effective that was. The girls who are kept home generally end up working in the factories. Yeah. So, and they're actually working in the factories from age 10. I mean, they end up falsifying their ages and things, and the families send them to work in the factories. Yeah. So we know we were changing lives. It was, transformational to have a program like that.
It's amazing our paths didn't cross, because I was living in Singapore from 2004 to 2007 and was traveling all of Asia. It's amazing we didn't happen to run into each other at some time and some point. Maybe we did.
I bet we did somehow.
Yeah, well, what's amazing about the organization is you talked about the fact that the girls that have gone to school have stayed there, that 100% of the girls have stayed and gone through school, which I think is amazing. But it's also here locally. In fact, we have two wonderful young women here today we'll bring in as part of the interview that are part of the program here in Santa Ana, California, which is fantastic. So what are some of the challenges that girls face globally and here locally in Southern California? I think sometimes we live in Southern California, it's beautiful, it's sunny, we think we've got these wonderful things going on, and then you realize that really human trafficking is huge in Orange County and nobody knows about it. So that's one of our
Human trafficking is huge in Orange County here? Affluent, nice, sunny, bright Orange County here?
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, tragically, that's true.
It's true.
I'll just say, just from a global perspective, there are 62 million girls worldwide that are not in school still, girls of school age. And the girls just generally face barriers to education and success, and the barriers are high. Just worldwide, there's lack of support for education for girls. The access to school, just generally access, and this is worldwide and global. This is the sort of the global view. There's danger traveling to the schools often, so the girls are kept home. Oftentimes there's violence we hear stories all the time of rapes, obviously. Just basic needs like unavailability of menstrual supplies. And it's something that people don't really realize, that girls on average miss 40 days of school because of their periods and not having enough supplies on hand.
Yeah.
Even lack of private bathrooms, the girls will be kept home by their families. So this is the global view of this. The dropout rates are astronomical for girls due to early marriage, pregnancy, obviously, or just being taken out to do unskilled labor.
Yeah.
So here locally, the problems exist as well. They may not sound as dire as the list I've just read, but certainly the propensity of families in underserved areas to send their girls to school and value that education and the success of that girl is less than the boys generally. So we're finding that we need to bolster those girls' self-esteem and value.
Yeah.
Because it's not happening at home.
What was interesting, my husband and I traveled to Mexico when we were down in Manzanillo, and we took we'd gone to the local Walmart in Mexico, and we'd bought, soccer balls, but we bought menstrual period information. We bought makeup, we bought underwear, bras, because the orphanage we gave all these donations to was boys and girls, a lot of girls between the ages of about 7 and about 17. And they were from families the families were either in prison or they were in drugs, and so they were in this orphanage. And it was interesting to see some of these little girls that you would catch them around the corner of your eye, that you'd just given them a little bit of makeup or you'd given them some new underwear. And here these little girls are kind of hiding behind a pole, kind of peeking around to see if we're looking at them. And it was just, I must have cried for 40 hours. I cried when I walked in, I cried when I was there, and I cried when I left. And I was trying to be brave.
Can I share a personal story here? You're talking about my daughter.
Right.
I'm a good Irish Catholic. We adopted a girl out of foster care who had been raised in Mexico and brought here illegally. She's not my daughter. She's been my daughter for the last 10 years. And we adopted her when she was 10. We found her in East L.A. She had been brought over illegally from Mexico when her mother abandoned her grandmother died. She had nobody. They brought her over here and fell into foster care. She had never been to school. She's 10. And we started asking about, is this common? Oh, yeah. Why send the girls to school? They're just going to get, pregnant and married. So when she is in a foreign country trying to learn English, and we adopt her, we bring her down to affluent South Orange County, like, what do you want us to do with this girl? She doesn't know how to read and write. She doesn't know how to add 1 and 2. She had, wild child, she had never been to school.
And it happens more than you think in the U.S. So how is your mission working to meet the needs of these girls? Because the school is a wonderful little old house that you've renovated, and it's beautiful, right across the street from one of the elementary schools here in Santa Ana, California. How are things going with meeting the needs of these girls locally as well as globally?
Well, what we do at Global Glow is and this is our mission statement actually, we ignite the power of girls as a force for global transformation. And what that means really is we believe that the girls have within them the ability already to make a change in their environment and in their world. So we just give them the tools basically to go out and do that. What we're doing is we are fostering their resilience to withstand the challenges that they're facing here. And here locally, we'll say, there's many of the same challenges that we've discussed already, but the ones that an adolescent girl will face just generally. So even bullying at school, or dealing with body image issues, or some of the other things that girls just generally always between the ages of 10 and 16 are facing. So what happens is at Global Glow, we're able to have those girls come with us on an after-school basis and meet with their young mentors. And the young mentors generally come from the universities and colleges nearby. We have a curriculum that we run that is based on adolescent topical themes, but it is couched in a rich array of literacy and art activities, digital storytelling, and various other ways that the girls can express themselves in the world. So basically what we're doing is we are enhancing girls' self-esteem so they can go back out into the world with confidence and with a strong voice and be able to tell their story. We like to talk about storytelling, as a matter of fact, because it's really one of the ways that we can change the world just by having that girl be able to tell her story powerfully, and then using that story to inspire others.
Great. And so you have a joint initiative with the Herstory Campaign. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, I know that girls who are educated get married later. They have healthier children. They have healthier families. They educate their own children better. They take a better interest in their girls. They earn more money. All the things that you want a young girl to do, you do through Global Glow. But also, tell me about the Herstory Campaign, because I think the audience would be interested in that. And at the end, we're definitely going to talk about how you can help, because obviously this is a nonprofit.
Yes.
Right? So everything that comes from the contribution goes to the girls.
Yes. Just so as an overview, and we can talk more about this after the break, as an overview, the Herstory Campaign is an initiative that we have put together with a partner who is a very strong partner of ours in New York. It's a nonprofit called Lit World. And together we've created a campaign that now serves in 25 countries. So basically we've expanded our programming to 25 different countries worldwide, and we have 50 different grassroots partners around the world. So we're running that same mentoring kind of model and the curriculum that exists in those spaces with those strong partners.
Great. How many girls are we serving in Southern California, and sort of what are the ages of the girls? And then we'll bring in our two girls here in just a minute.
Perfect. Yes, we have about 400 to 500 girls in Southern California. So that's from our home in Santa Ana. We have programming happening there. We have programming happening in Los Angeles. Up in Van Nuys, we have a beautiful new charter school partner called Girls Athletic Leadership School, which is an all-girls middle school, which I love. We have a partnership with Breakthrough San Juan, down in San Juan Capistrano. So we have some very strong partners here in Santa Ana as well. KidWorks and the Bowers Museum as well. We're running programming with them. So these are our local programs, and basically our girls are the ages 10 to 14, but now we've realized that extends on beyond into high school, and then beyond that even. So as our girls are now bridging into their first year of college, we try to support that as well.
Great. So how about we have our two guests in the room introduce themselves, tell us your name, what your role is in the program, and then we'll follow up after the break with some more information. But first off, talk about the program. Go ahead, Janet.
My name is Janet Martinez.
They're pointing at each other saying, you go first. No, you go first.
My name is Janet Martinez. I am a senior at Nova Academy, and I've been a mentee in GLOW for about 1.5 years.
Great. And our mentor?
Hi, I'm Tracy Tran. I recently graduated from UC Irvine. I have been a mentor for the past 2 years, and now I'll be transitioning into a new role as program specialist.
So you'll actually be working full-time now, well, full-time not just as a mentor, but as a program person at a full-time job for the Global Glow campaign.
And can I ask how you got involved as a mentor and why? How did you even hear about this, and why did you do it?
I actually heard about it through Facebook jobs and internships.
Facebook jobs, okay.
Yes.
Why not? And so you heard about it, and why?
Well, in middle school,
Was it just to meet I'm sorry to say, some kids just have to do this to graduate or something. They get a few credits, and they say, okay, I'm going to go do something nice or helpful, and then look good at my resume.
Oh, no. So, I saw the job description, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't have this kind of resource in middle school. I really would have liked to have this all-girl support system, so I applied, and then now I'm here.
Okay. And Janet, talk a little bit about the program and what you do with the program. We'll talk in more detail after the break, but just a few words about sort of what you do as a mentee.
Okay, so I joined the program, same as Tracy. It was very new to me to have a program started by strong women to empower young women. And so I didn't get to join until my junior year because of other things that were just keeping me busy. So when I joined, we started off by doing art activities, reading literature and poetry, having speakers come in, and speak about their experiences in different fields. We also had little trips here and there to like the movies or the bowling alley, and they'd always be with our mentors and our fellow mentees. A lot of the fellow mentees were students at my school, so we got to build friendships outside of the classroom, even though it was within the school.
Yeah.
And what did you think when you joined? Or why did you join? How did you join?
So I joined.
How'd you find it?
It actually is based in my school. So every Friday afternoon, GLOW sends their mentors over and they host a program after school. And so I saw it. I had friends that joined, but I didn't join until junior year because there was a lot of other things keeping me busy, like just getting to and from school. So the main reason I joined was because I didn't have that support system at home or as much as I would have liked. And just seeing strong women surrounding me and just being there to support me and to encourage me was really inspiring. So I joined with that in mind, and I had always had an interest in women's issues and just helping other girls within my community, because growing up in a primarily Hispanic community, I noticed a lot of sexism and masochistic attitudes within the community and even within my family. And so I experienced that, and I saw it as an opportunity to not only help myself, but to help others within my community.
So let me ask just one other question here. I'm sorry. What did your mother think when you joined?
My mom, she was kind of iffy about it, mostly because of going to and from school. So at that time, I walked to school, and it would take me about 15 minutes, but even then, there's always that kind of fear that something can happen because, there's catcalling, and then there's, going home late or going to and from school.
Yeah, for those of you who are listening that don't know the Southern California area, Santa Ana is majority Hispanic community, and there are many barrios and areas where Spanish is the only thing that's taught in the home, and sometimes some of the girls are learning and interpreting English for their families. But also, we're only about maybe 15 or 20 miles from the ocean. I know one story that was shared with me was some of the girls had been in the program, and one of the field trips that actually took them to the ocean. It's 15 or 20 minutes away, and they had never been there because they didn't have access to transportation or to even know that these things were around them. And so I'm trying to organize an Ocean Institute thing for the girls and some other cool stuff.
I'll give you some context when we get off. My wife works for a local bank. They went and volunteered, as a lot of banks do, in poor neighborhoods in the Hispanic schools. And one of the statistics they were told, this was some Hispanic school, is that most of the kids, boys and girls, will never venture more than 5 miles from this community.
They just don't have access to transportation.
Right.
Great. Okay, so we'll go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk more about the program, and we'll talk about this amazing thing where these girls are going to be going to the United Nations this March, which is very exciting.
Imagine what it would feel like to lose everything. Your job, your home, your family, your dignity. This has happened to thousands of the men, women, veterans, and young adults we serve at Working Wardrobes. What do we do to help? We provide career development services, life skills workshops, job skills training. We provide the perfect interview outfit, and we get clients placed in jobs. Call Working Wardrobes, 714-210-2460. Donate, volunteer, invest, hire.
When it comes to pioneers in their respective industries, we all know the Apples, Starbucks, and Trader Joe's of the world. In the realm of recruiting, Decision Toolbox is the industry's best-kept secret. With 90% of their business from referrals and repeat customers. For over 20 years, Decision Toolbox's U.S.-based team of recruiters, sourcers, professional writers, quality personnel, and tech support has perfected a Six Sigma approach to talent management. No matter the size of the project, Decision Toolbox delivers incredible results. A cost per hire less than half of what contingency firms charge, with the winning candidate presented in an average of 14 days, all with a 12-month candidate warranty. With results like that, Decision Toolbox won't be a secret for long. Visit us at www.dtoolbox.com for more information.
All right, we're back. Fascinating stuff here, Patty.
So I really want to talk with our mentor and mentee for a few minutes about what is dynamic mentoring. Maybe you could share as a mentor what that is, and then also as a mentee. What does that mean? Dynamic mentoring sounds wonderful, but what is it?
So dynamic mentoring for me is the ability to create really deep relationships with my mentees. Just like really being a good listener to them and just like getting them to open up to anything that's going on in their lives.
Okay. So it's a peer-to-peer sharing of issues and challenges and successes and amazing things.
And what was the terminology you used at the very beginning?
We call it dynamic mentoring partly because we have a very clear training program for it, and we select our mentors very carefully as well. So what we're doing is we have I think 10 modules now of training that we put our mentors through the year and through the years to make sure that we are developing young women leaders. So what ends up happening is our mentors actually are these young women who come in. They're awesome, amazing young women from the local colleges and universities, but we are able to develop them professionally as well in a leadership way.
Yeah.
So that the mentor model really is at the heart and soul of this whole program. We want those young women to be very strong for those girls.
Yeah, yeah. And then as a mentee, what does the peer dynamic mentoring mean for you, and how has it helped you?
So as a mentee, I have as my mentor, Mahua. She is during the program. So once I arrive at the program, you get paired with your mentors. And for me, having a mentor there is just, I can look up to her. I look up to her. She's a strong woman, and I'm surrounded by strong women within the program. And she is there for me if I need emotional support, if I just want someone to talk to. She helps with like different activities. So we do art activities and poetry activities, and it's just kind of this bond you build with them. It's a friendship, but it's also more sort of like a sisterhood where you have this older sister you can look up to and you can lean on.
Yeah. Yeah, and it goes beyond what some other programs might do that people are familiar with, because it does go into developing them on all dimensions, emotionally, intellectually, as well as personally and professionally. So it really does do that. And we have girls that have been mentees that are now mentors as well?
Yes, we do. And this is one of our great successes, that we have mentees who have then become old enough to come on as mentors. And now we actually have mentors who are coming on to as our
full-time
team members.
Staff, yeah.
Yes. So it's really a wonderful network of girls, young women, and women, and we love to have the girls belong with us, continue to belong. So starting at age 10, and we'd love to just keep them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. You were telling me about a girl yesterday who was, I think she now has a full scholarship at Sage. So we're talking about stories, and you were telling me tell us a little bit about this girl and what she's been able to accomplish from maybe being afraid to come to the program because her family didn't support it, or her cultural environment didn't support it, because it was sort of like there's risk walking to the school, or there might be some things that are against the culture where that young woman grew up, whether she's Hispanic or American or Asian or any sort of individual. So tell us her story.
This is a young woman who came at the very beginning of our programming in Santa Ana in 2013, and she came, I think, because she was attracted by the idea that she could be with women who were reading and writing and speaking, and particularly doing poetry together. So I think that attracted her to come, and her parents said yes to her.
Right.
And actually, her parents, I think, are also very progressive thinking people, knowing that their daughter was really bright and really needed to have challenges in her life that would propel her further. So she was with us for about 2 years, I guess, and then was offered a scholarship at Sage Hill High School. So she's gone on to a private high school, and she is thriving, she's just an amazing young woman who's left the neighborhood, obviously, and what's happened to her now is she actually came with us last year to the UN, which we'll talk about in a minute again. This year she applied to go on a Sage Hill program to Japan. So she now, I would say, she is a global citizen in the greatest sense of the word. She sees herself as somebody who's really going to make a change in the world.
So she's a change maker. She's really looking at making a difference in the world and going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody tweeted a question. You women have said a couple times poetry. Reading poetry. That's not what I would normally think of when you bring women together to empower them. Why poetry? And that's what this person said. Why poetry? Anybody?
You can start, Kylie, and then maybe I'll go to Janice.
I think we're all nodding at each other and going, of course, poetry. And I'm like, gosh.
What were you thinking?
What were you thinking? Come on.
It's one of the finest ways to express yourself in a way that is a safe and beautiful way. So I think that we have a foundation of poetry in our program because we understand that girls want to have outlets to be able to express themselves creatively, and that's a great way.
Yeah, when I went to the school, I took pictures because there's these beautiful little pictures all around where the girls have taken pictures of themselves or their friends or something that inspired them, and then there's a little line or a little quote or a little bit of poetry that they sort of have added to that, and I took pictures. I'm going to post those, and I think it's really cool what you do. So what are some of the programs you offer in Santa Ana, and are they the same ones you offer more globally?
Yes, the programs, we're calling them programs. Basically, we have a very strong curriculum, and we have more than one, but we run that so the mentors and mentees have a good vehicle to within which to develop that relationship. And the mentor and mentee, there's a consistency to that. We want to make sure the mentor is with that young girl for the year. So there's the consistency very important. So the program itself is one that is infused with that poetry, art, digital storytelling, photography, those kind of things where the girl is able to express herself in a social and emotional learning type way. It's not that we're trying to develop better poets, let's say, or better artists. It's actually it's meant for self-expression, so the girl can develop her strong voice and take that out beyond our walls, out into the world.
And sometimes that voice is not encouraged at home because of, again, the family, cultural kind of issues that might be going on. And Janet, you were telling me that you've applied to a lot of schools for college.
Yes, I have.
So where are you applying? And that's your next step. So you're a junior now, or you're a senior?
I am a senior.
Okay.
I just finished my applications last week, so yes, a very, very stressful time. I'm very grateful for all the support I've had. But I've applied to about 13 schools. So I applied to the UC system, but I also applied to some private schools such as Brown and Stanford.
Wow, you're aiming big here.
Oh, absolutely.
What is the graduation, roughly, percentage for girls in your high school?
In my high school, we actually have a very high percentage.
Or not just graduation, but I should say going into college, yeah.
Going into college, I want to say about 75%.
Really? Okay.
But many of the students in my high school go on to community college.
Okay.
So they don't really aim for private schools. So even last year, or among my peers, I know a lot of people are afraid to go into private school, to apply to private schools, because they think that they're not worthy enough to apply there.
Wow.
Yeah, most of these students at Nova, I'll say, Nova's an amazing place. Nova Early College High School, they actually do some college work during high school years, so it helps them bridge into college. Their first-time generation in their family to do so.
And you're launching a new program in Long Beach at the Michelle Obama Library in 2 weeks?
Yes, we are. So we are ever expanding at Global Glow. So our newest venture is into North Long Beach, where it's an area that's becoming revitalized and vibrant. There's a beautiful library called the Michelle Obama Library, and we've been invited to start programming there. So we are encouraging anyone who has a daughter 10 to 16 to contact us, and we'd love to have her join our program up there in Long Beach.
Yeah, great. So we talked a little bit about Herstory, which is sort of the campaign name in your partnership, but tell us about this return trip to Cambodia.
Okay, so yes. So one of the things that is necessary is we have these partners that are operating our we're facilitating, and they're operating the program worldwide. So it's necessary to go to those spaces and see the program and meet the partners and keep in good contact, because we value the partnership so strongly. So we're getting ready to bring some of our team members to Cambodia in 2 weeks or so. Mm-hmm. To see how the program is running there, and also to do some workshops with the girls and some women who are joining us. So it'll be a very dynamic trip.
Is that why you moved into Long Beach? Because Long Beach, is my understanding, has one of the largest Cambodian communities outside of Cambodia. And so, I don't know if you're trying to tap into that.
That's a really interesting connection, and yes, it's true. Actually, Cambodia plays a big part in my personal story. Mm-hmm. So
one of our editors here is Cambodian, and she grew up in that area. It's
so interesting. We'll have to look into that, because I think Cambodia, we will have Cambodian partners coming to the UN also in March. We've been informed to a large degree by what's happening in Cambodia, watching the girls, the transformation of the girls in Cambodia that are in our programming.
Yeah. And you're breaking that cycle of poverty, which is really important, because you educate a girl and you educate the world. And that you educate the family, they then they marry later in life, they get good non-factory jobs, they go on a higher education, all of those great things.
And they encourage their own children, their own daughters.
Yep.
Right.
So how have you impacted the girl crisis, and what are you most proud of?
Well, I know that we've impacted the girl crisis, which is sort of the terminology for all the things that we talked about the girls having these huge barriers to education and success. I know we've done that with the programming we're doing, that's in place here locally and then also worldwide. And honestly, I'm most proud of the fact that we have a very strong mentor program, that the young women who are at the front lines really are very powerful young women, like Tracy, who is here with us today. She is an example of the idea that you can't be what you can't see. We bring Tracy in, and all of a sudden the girls who are in contact with Tracy say, I see what you did, and I understand your life story, and I can do that too. Yeah. So I think one of the things I'm really most proud of is that we developed the mentor program to such a degree that we know that there's true outcomes, true effective programming happening because the mentors are with those girls. Yeah. So that's one thing. And then the second thing I need to say before time runs out, I'm so very proud of our Herstory Campaign, that the biggest thing in that arsenal is our Global Herstory Summit, which is the UN and presentation that's coming in March. This will be our second year. We were invited by the UN women particularly, as a partner to come and to bring our girls from around the world to present about our program to the UN. We have a summit. It's a 5-day summit that's happening right around that time, and we are bringing 60 girls from 12 countries to that location.
What happens when you bring 60 girls from 12 countries to New York City, to the United Nations? I mean, this is amazing. Got to be mind-blowing here.
It's mind-blowing, all right.
Yeah.
It's amazing, because these young women, many have not left their neighborhoods. So these women are getting on the plane, young girls are getting on the plane with their mentors and arriving in New York City. And
which itself is shocking if you've never been there,
Absolutely, yes. This is a transformative moment for everyone, including everyone involved, all the women,
staff,
too.
everybody.
Everybody is changed by this experience.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that the Herstory Girls Campaign serves over 7,000 girls worldwide. Not just these 60 girls that are lucky enough to come to the summit, but it's supporting these girls worldwide and helping them empower themselves.
How do you tell their story? How do you capture their stories? How do you archive their stories? Is it written? Is it audio? Is it visual?
All of the above, actually. So the girls do art projects and writing projects and spoken word projects, different different ways that they can tell their story powerfully in the world. And basically, the Herstory Campaign is an effort to harness those stories and send them out into the world. So it's a broadcasting mechanism, so we can use the girls' stories on a grassroots level, but broadcast it to the world so we can drive the discourse on gender inequality.
Yeah, and I've actually committed to collect the stories and write a book around called Her Story.
There you go. Wow.
So my next book will be called Her Story, which I'll be collecting stories from the two beautiful young women here today, but also from girls from around the world, and tell their story so the world really sees what this is all about and how we can really help that gender equality gap, because a lot of people don't know that the gap still exists. Women are still paid less than men. At the current rate of pay, it'll take 179 years for women to reach pay equality. There's just so many issues we can deal with, and it's the things that affect the girls that impact them early in their life, and how we can keep moving forward. So I'm curious, from our mentor first, what's the biggest impact this program has had on you, or what are you most proud of as a mentor?
So this program changed my life completely. Initially at UCI, I was just a film and media studies major, but after being a GLOW mentor, I ended up adding a second major. I added the education sciences major, and I specialized in after-school programming. So in that aspect, it changed my life. I'm surrounded by so many positive young girls and women every day, and it's just really changed my outlook on life. I feel like I'm just a lot more positive and just willing to open up to others. And so that's how GLOW has changed my life.
Okay. And Janet?
So the most important thing GLOW has taught me to be more self-confident. So when I joined GLOW, I was a junior. But even then, I still had some issues, just knowing that what I was doing and my capabilities were unique and would allow me to get places, and that I earned what I had accumulated at that point. So one instant that I remember clearly is towards the end of last year, I was offered an opportunity to go to a summer program. And it would have been the first time I had gone away from home. And I was going to go across the country to Princeton, New Jersey, and just be the whole summer.
That's a long ways.
Yeah, it was a very long way. And I remember I got the notification during GLOW, and I was just shocked that I had even gotten accepted. And all the mentors in the facility at the time and all the mentees were just congratulating me, and they were sharing in my joy. And when it came the time to decide if I wanted to go or not, because there was some hesitancy from my parents, because within our Latin community, within my Mexican household, there's a lot of the women are often, stay at home. They're not really allowed to go out on their own or to venture far away from the household. So having GLOW there to support me and to encourage me and tell me, you earned this, you're deserving of this, you need to go and put yourself out there and experience this, really helped me decide to go. And it ended up being an extremely transformative summer and one of the best experiences I've had. So that's one of the most impactful things that has happened to me as being part of GLOW.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So as a mentor and as a mentee, it both transformed your lives, and sometimes the mentees become mentors a little bit later on.
What keeps this? Are there any barriers to expanding this program? Is it just money? Is it just awareness? Or are there people out there, you're kind of, what I'm hearing, you're reading between the lines, people saying, I don't know if I really like this. I don't know if I really want my daughter to do this. It breaks religious, cultural traditions, whatever.
I would answer that I'm sure we've encountered some resistance from, the communities that we're operating in, but slowly and very subtly, I think that we're making changes with each girl. With each girl we have, the community changes just a little bit more. So I have great hope that we can continue to expand, and really we are only constrained by budgetary concerns. So, of course, our program is free. We bring it to each site free. We operate in our own space in Santa Ana at the GLOW House. Those girls come free of charge. There's no barriers to anyone coming, and we certainly do engage the families as much as possible to make sure that those girls can continue.
And you said this is a house. Did you purchase a house? You rent the house?
We rented an old house.
Beautiful old, probably even 1900, 1920s old house in downtown Santa Ana, right across the street from one of the schools. It's a beautiful little house. When I was walking through it yesterday, and I was even in the bathroom, it reminded me of my grandmother because it had the pink tiles the pink sink and the pink bathroom. But it is such a beautiful little house, and it's comforting and it's welcoming. It's a beautiful little place.
It probably glows.
Yes,
it glows.
Thank you so much for saying that. When we arrived, it was not beautiful.
Well, I heard it might have even been maybe a drug house before.
Yes, it was. So that's what they say, at least.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So on that note, how can we support you? How can we help you? How can we get involved? There's programs all over, not just in Santa Ana, but there's programs, I believe, in Chicago and some other places. So how can people get involved, and how can we help?
So we do have a global presence, as I've mentioned, across the U.S. as well. Detroit is a very big partner, New York City, Mississippi. We've done some work with the Native American girls, and we're hoping to do more of that, have programming expanding here in Southern California as well, and then potentially in the northern part of the state as well.
Right.
The way that people could help us immediately is by helping to support our efforts to bring girls to the UN in March. And I'd like to say just a moment about that. We've asked the 60 girls who are coming, they've applied to do so by creating a community action project. And that project is something that they have identified in their own communities as a need. And then they've come up with some solutions that they are going to work on and brainstorm about during that summit time in New York, and then come back to their home communities around the world in those countries and implement the program. So we'd like to say that those 60 girls, they're going to go home and galvanize the young women and girls in their communities to make a change in their community. Mm-hmm. So just to support one girl going to the UN, you actually are supporting thousands.
And how does that work? Do you donate?
Yes.
Do you sign up, like when people go on a run, they sign up a sheet, and if they complete something, they get so much? Or
This will be my pitch, because
okay, we're trying to get you to give the pitch here.
Here it is. Really, the best way to do anything is to go to our website, which is globalgirlsglow.org. All one word, globalgirlsglow.org. And you can see there that you will be able to donate to us, to make a donation particularly to the Global Herstory Summit, which will help us bring those girls from around the world to New York City in March. You can sponsor a girl's trip and her attendance there for $1,000. We can also we're also asking anyone who would like to sponsor a community action project in one of the sites in the communities where our girls are coming from. That's a $5,000 donation. So we have girls coming from Nepal, for instance, and they suffered a tragic earthquake 2 years ago, and so those girls are going back home to implement a project that will help that community recover. So, and we know that we're going to help them design that well, so when they go home, they can help get those girls mobilized to make some real changes in the community.
Yeah, and then the other things people can do is in-kind gifts. What would be really helpful for these girls, and I've already talked to my friends at Microsoft about donating technology, surfaces, software, things they could use. Things they could use, helping pay for field trips, like if we go to a field trip at the Ocean Institute or any kind of thing, instructions, arts, photography, all those kind of things. And then what if somebody like me, which I already have, wants to volunteer, maybe do a workshop either for the mentors or the mentees, or they want to do something at one of the houses?
So beyond helping us with the Global Herstory Summit, which of course those are the big asks that I had today, here locally we are always looking for strong women who are willing to come in and either share a skill or a gift, or just share their story, their life path, and talk about the choices that they've made in their lives and how they've arrived at whatever it is they're doing today. The girls are so eager to hear and they ask a million questions of you. It's actually a really dynamic process the girls like to do with the women who come. We call it the glow show. So
the glow show.
Why not?
We would invite any woman who would like to come. We will talk to you first, and then you could come in and do a little glow show with us, and we would love that.
So what about social media, newsletters, so people can keep in touch, all that kind of stuff?
Yes, please. We'd love you to like us on Facebook, which is Global Girls Leading Our World on Facebook. We're on Instagram as well. It's global_glow. On Twitter, Global Girls Glow. Or going to our website again, globalgirlsglow.org. You can sign up for our newsletter, which comes out every month, and you can stay abreast of everything we're doing.
Yeah, that's great. And I love quotes. I collect quotes. They're all over my book. My one quote I was thinking about for today that applies to everybody here, both Kylie and our wonderful mentor and mentee that has joined us. It's a quote by Margaret Mead, and it says, "Never doubt that a small group of people, women, girls, so never doubt that a small group of girls can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." And so what you all are doing is absolutely amazing. I'm in 100%. I'll write the book. I would love to go to New York with you. We'll figure out how to make that work, because I really want to get this story out, because like I said, you change a girl's life, you educate a girl, you change the world. Just a couple things sort of as we get ready to sort of wrap things up. I want to thank my amazing girls, I'll call us all girls, for being here today and coming into this studio where we're literally packed in like sardines in this little teeny space, but we so wanted to get the girls here to tell their stories. A couple things about me in terms of a few requests of the audience. One, if there's a topic you'd like to hear on the show, please contact me. My show is dedicated, it's by women for women, about issues they care about, so it's things like things in your career, running your own business, running a nonprofit like Kylie's doing, helping girls around cyberbullying, human trafficking, or even domestic violence and things that are going on in our environment. So it's all dedicated to women, about women, and for women and the issues they care about. So you can contact me at pattygrimm@live.com, and that's PATTIEGRIMM@live.com. Also contact me if you'd like to be a guest on the show. I'm currently booked, I think, through the end of March, but I would love to get somebody on the show, and if you can't make it to our recording studio, we can do it over Skype in some other way or form that we can do that. So contact me if you'd like to be on the show. If you'd like to book me specifically for a training, webinar, or conference speech, also reach me at pattygrimm@live.com, PATTIEGRIMM@live.com. My Facebook page is Women Kicking Glass, so you can also check me out there and like that. And then also, too, please buy my book and give me some feedback and let me know how you liked it. I'm going to give both girls a copy of my book that I'll sign and drop by the house sometime. So I really appreciate you all being here. Any last words or any last thoughts from the three of you?
Well, I'll say this. I love the Margaret Mead quote that you said, and it's one that I live by and I believe strongly.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that with each single girl that we are with and with each life that is touched, we start an upward spiral that really is a powerful thing in this world. And for me personally, it's just been so gratifying to be able to be part of this work and wake up every morning knowing that I have some ability to change the world myself.
Yeah.
So I invite everyone to do that with me as well. Please join us at globalgirlsglow.org.
Great. Any comments from our two?
They're looking at each other. You go. No, you go. I think everybody should go. That's the whole thing. I'm just shocked.
Yeah.
I haven't heard about this. I think it's wonderful. Yeah. Having had a daughter who started life without any belief in herself or ability, thinking that she could do anything, this is sorely needed at every level. Yeah.
And so please volunteer, get involved, reach out, donate whatever you can. Like I said, technology gifts or things that the girls can use, art supplies, things that help the school. It is nonprofit, so everything...
Is there a list on the website? Sometimes it helps to put a list of things that you're looking for. It's one thing to say, I can donate, and I say, what would I donate other than money? Yeah. Maybe you could come up with a list and say, we need this, 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 and this, or something.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of companies out there that I'm going to reach out to and see if we can get some donations for things for the girls. I mean, the thing, I'm very passionate about this. In fact, one of the topics I'll be talking about in my show in the future is raising brave girls. We need to raise brave girls so that they can be empowered in the world and they can reach whatever level they decide is right for them. They may decide they want to be stay-at-home mom who volunteers her time and changes the world in that way. The person may want to change by being the corporate ladder and some other ways of doing things. And so,
but do it because it's your choice, not just because it's default.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Right.
A lot of companies have wonderful programs they do where they volunteer maybe everybody once a year. So I encourage companies out there to consider doing something for Global Glow.
All right, with that, we're going to wrap things up. Final words, final thoughts, anything? How to reach you? Let's give the website one more time.
Yeah, website one more time.
GlobalGirlsGlow.org is the website. Thank you so much, Patty, for having us.
Thank you so much, and I'm so glad our paths crossed, and we'll continue to work together, and I'll be continuing to help at the house. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Women Kicking Glass, the only radio show on OC Talk Radio dedicated to empowering women to be the best they can be. Listen each week or download the podcast at patty.grimm.podbean.com. To reach out to Patty to schedule a speech webinar or to learn more about her leadership and team training, contact Patty at pattygrimm@live.com. For more information about her company and her books, have a kicking day.